great life, though.
What is going on, losers? Welcome to the L.L.P. Joint Hour. Joined this week, actually joined again for the first time by Dan Buffa. Did I say that correctly?
Buffa,
Buffa.
but in Italy, according to my cousins, it's Buffa. So abroad, you're right.
So in the Schnucks world, because I worked at Schnucks growing up as a kid, there was a Joe Buffa who's like the produce buyer. So that's how and he spelled the same way. So
I don't think I know a Joe, but I've heard that there are like 90 or so Buffas in the United States. So maybe we have some. Maybe I'll unite one day with all of them in the middle of the country in Colorado, because
there's enough of you fuckers floating around.
I know.
I'll tell you that there's a fucking shit ton, man.
Yeah, there is, man. We and then there's Beffas. There's the BEFFA, and I always go, "Do you have the restaurant?" No, I don't have the restaurant. I wish I did. Don't you wish you had a restaurant you can go eat at?
Yeah, no shit. But I get it all the time with Baquette. We're thick as fleas on a dog's back, and there's 18,000 different ways they say it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's fucked up.
It's just for me, you try to say the name correctly, but really, I've said so many names incorrectly that I don't care. I used to go on a show, and I want to say that a current radio host, he's on 101 ESPN. I like him, Brandon Kiley. I think he has the midday. And
BK and Ferrario.
Yeah, BK and Ferrario. Well, BK used to be in Columbia, Missouri. He was, I think, KTGR, and that's one of the times. That's the first time I went on a radio station that was outside St. Louis, and he said Buva, and I wasn't like, I didn't say, I didn't say, yeah.
Hand me that one. That's yours. That's yours. We're getting fucking deep this morning.
Yeah.
This is morning, by the way.
Let's put it this way. As I said before we got on the air, kids eat tricks, adults eat tricks. We smoke trick strains.
Yes. So, like I said, before we get too deep, Joe or Dan, I'm going to call you Joe because I know too many Joe Bufas. I fucked that up because I'm high, I'm drunk, and it's your fault this morning.
Yeah, it is my fault.
It really is your fault.
I mean, if I'm like, if it's the movie and you're the protagonist, I'm the antagonist that has now dragged you into the dark side.
I'm gonna let you know it wasn't a very hard drag either.
No, it was
very easy.
It was like I had to like push you a little bit into the chair.
You showed up and went, "Hey man, I got a couple Bud Lights and I got water." This, you went, "Oh man, I'll take that last Bud Light." And I went, "Oh fuck, I can't let you drink by yourself." So
yeah, I mean, I just think
fuck it.
And I love these bottles for some reason. They just seem special.
They go down a little bit smoother. They make this joint taste.
I guess they hold the beer. I mean, do they make the beer a little colder? Is that what they do?
I have no idea.
I have no idea the science
of
it.
But before we get too deep, if you're watching on YouTube or Rumble, please hit subscribe. And Dan, tell everybody what you do and about yourself.
Oh,
and then we'll get into some
interesting
conversations.
If you jump on Twitter, I am kind of known as a polarizing figure.
I'll give you your handle. Give me your handle.
Yeah.
Fucking broadcast all your shit, man.
At Buff82. That's where a lot of my handles are. It's Instagram, which I go and just kind of post pictures just to mess with that crowd. I just want to, you know what I do on Instagram? I go on there on my account and I just post a random photo. There is no timeliness with Instagram. I'll post a picture of like old Arnold just to throw people off. Hey, gym guys. You'll never look like this. But I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook. I try to use the socials because that's a writer's weapon in 2022. Pausing for a poll.
And that's all podcasters. It's one of anybody's real game changing, really.
But
social media.
I started writing on the internet, and the beginning I had this group of friends on an email. And I sent the email blast, and it would just be 2,000 words of me just unplugging the brain and Cardinals movies, whatever. And then my buddy was like, please get a website. Please, WordPress was breaking out. Blogger was around back then. Medium, I don't think was around back then. But yeah. I started a blog. I started a blog at WordPress. I called it Dose of Buffa because I just kind of, I don't know, for some reason I felt like when I give an opinion, it's like, you're going to the doctor's office. I'm prescribing you an opinion or maybe some news with an opinion. So it stuck. And 2011, gosh, my first article for that website, John, was about Colby Rasmus trade.
About
the trade that really kickstarted the whole season. La Russa kindly told Bill DeWitt probably, hey,
so we traded. Hold on, back it up. So we traded Colby Rasmus to. God damn, I forgot that trade. Toronto.
Well, I want to say that I'm blanking on the hitter we got. We got a speedy outfielder It wasn't a Drawn Chambers. We had him. It wasn't Shawan Dunston. We got Shawan Dunston for a little bit,
Yeah,
but it was somebody else.
I
Oh,
forgot what
you
he
know it
was.
was. It's
2011.
gonna come to me.
Where's
He was
Randy
kind of
Character
a
when you need him?
he was kind of a slugger. Um, he played for the Giants. He played for the Cubs too. But the biggest piece of
Is
that
that
deal,
Mark Della Rosa deal? No,
no, that was the
that was
Indians, and that was a
that was
bad
way
deal. And really, just because Mark DeRosa got
got
hurt,
hurt.
he got
Yeah,
hurt.
I mean, I remember Della Rosa got hurt. And that was a
I
shame.
mean, Mark De La Rosa, if he would have stayed healthy, he would have been like a Alan Craig that didn't have the foot injury. That's how a hitter he was. He could just hit and hit. But they got Edwin Jackson in that trade,
Okay,
and then he was able to give them innings. And then they got Octavio Dotel,
that's
and
right.
Octavio Dotel, I think, ended up being the X factor.
He's
It's because
really kind of solidified that
he
bullpen
did
at that time.
he made Ryan Braun in the NLCS. He made him look stupid. I mean, and Ryan Braun, this is 2011
This is steroid.
before he ruined somebody's career by being a big asshole. And this is
This
when he
is
was just in the elite. This is like when Mike Trout was in his first 5 years,
yeah.
but down to a much stupider level. That's Ryan Braun.
I
I mean, Dotel, he would throw that cutter, and Braun would just know it before, and I go, I'm going to swing anyway.
every everyone that was a series. Everyone knew what he was throwing. He
Yeah.
only threw two pitches. It was like he was either throwing that cutter or that four seamer, and that was it. And he was unhittable, if I remember it correctly.
He was
So
because I mean he just kind of disposed of him. So I started the blog, and then you get on Twitter, and I meet a good guy, and we call him the blog father, Daniel Shoptaw. He's at C70.
mhm.
He's just a great dude. He started this blog. He recruits people off Twitter who want to write, and he knew I had the website, and he knew I'm just people know that I am just a loudmouth. I'm a Tommy gun of opinions, and I have plenty of ammunition. And so Choptaw's like, this guy's just going to get all kinds of reads. And I think he still writes for Cards Conclave. If you want some really good Cardinal writing
Uh-huh.
without the
Yeah.
bullshit, it's just a guy like Shoptaw who just loves to cover the team. And he's got that good old Arkansas accent.
They're the best.
But it's a really good accent. He's like the guy that would save the good guy in the movie on the farm,
Yeah.
let him live there for a couple
He's
days.
the guy in the background, and he's just like all of a sudden just shows up at the end to save
Yeah.
him. He needs
Yeah.
that like
He'd be like, hey, come on and stay
he's
at
the
my
Robert
house.
Duvall
He
character now.
is. So, he got a ragtag group of writers on his site. And then, you write for one site, and then another site becomes available. And then through a guy called Corey Rudd, who had a website of his own, he wrote for KSDK, and he gave me a contact, Jordan Palmer, who is a fiery Jewish, because now I write for a Jewish website with Jordan, but he's just a great dude. He's one of those guys who looks like a more muscle bound Danny DeVito. He's a little shorter, but he's really energetic, and he's older than me. You
Oh
think
yeah.
people that are older than you, I mean, like 5 or 10 years, and like he's got the energy of a 25-year-old,
Gee,
and he's a digital content guy. So
oh wow.
KSDK, whatever's written online for about 10 years, he was the guy that oversaw all of it. And he's the guy that invented Show Me St. Louis. He
Okay.
was a TV producer before he was a website kind of digital content kind of manager. And he brought me on, man, and he let me write about, my first article was about Patrick Berglund and the Blues.
Oh,
And
man.
I actually defended because back when he was
Berglund was great the first couple of years.
they asked him to do too much. I always say this. It's like with Kobe Rasmus. I think they asked him to do too much.
Listen, Colby Rasmus couldn't hit his hat size there at the end. So
Oh no, he didn't. But early on, he had some skill. I just saw
Yeah.
I saw a very unsure young player in Kobe Rasmus.
And I think and
the dad really being an oppressive force.
I think the dad and LaRussa being no bullshit.
Imagine that combo. Who are you gonna call? Your mom?
Like, oh yeah, what's mom gonna say? You know what mom's
You
gonna
better
tell you?
talk to your dad. Oh,
That's life, buddy.
that's life.
That's life.
And
And
yeah.
you couldn't talk to his brother because
Couldn't
his
talk
brother
to
was
his
going
brother.
through the same bullshit
Same
down
thing.
because he
At
played
a-
for that
at a
college
much-
coach.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's just a
So-
tortured family.
Oh, that's
But,
brutal.
So I start writing for KSDK, and they let me
Yeah.
do Cardinal stuff, Blues stuff, and then in 2015, I'm always going to remember this because Jordan was like, "Hey, do you want to write your movie reviews for us?" And I'm like, "No, yes." Yes, of course I want to. So my first review was of the Chris Pratt Jurassic World, which I really enjoy. It's a stupid dinosaur movie. Okay, Chris Pratt looks like a very, very tall Harrison Ford.
That's like you know what you're gonna get with Chris
Yeah,
Pratt. You're gonna
and
get a
I
couple
know
of good
he's-
one-liners.
I know in real life he may not be the greatest human being, but you don't go to movies to make friends with actors and
Be-
even empathize with them. You're
Yeah.
supposed to go there for what they're doing.
Yeah,
You know,
you separate their
you
opinion from what they're
separate.
from the work.
So Chris Pratt's always going to be special because he was the first like movie star, my first review kid.
That's
And
awesome.
when you see your review on a website, this is not me gloating about it, but it was every time I see my name on a byline at
Yeah.
KSDK, I'm like, what is wrong with these fucking people?
Yeah.
Why do they do this? Give me an
I-
alias or something.
Yeah,
It's cool.
yeah.
Because my grandfather was I mean, this is what my parents tell me. I got it from my grandfather, Lawrence Bulis. He wrote a little fishing and hunting column. The guy could hunt and then he could go fish like all week. And he wrote about it. And he was great. I mean, and of course, rest in peace. He died he died a little young. He died doing what he loved. He died out in the field hunting. He had a heart attack. And I say that's sad, but to do what you love and maybe go down doing it,
Perfect way to go.
perfect way to go.
That's the best way besides sleeping.
I mean, other than
Besides
sitting
going-
here talking on a podcast with the Lost Losers podcast host John, smoking weed and drinking Bud Light, there's doing what you love. Is
Doing what you
close
love.
number two?
If you can die doing what you love or get paid doing what you love,
Yes. See, that's
the best thing in the
and
world.
really, for a while, I couldn't just be a work from home freelance writer. I had to go. Shit, I worked in a warehouse for parts of 8 years. I worked in a Conway warehouse on the worst street. We call it Hull Street.
Nope. Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically where all the truck stops, Saya.
Yep.
And I mean, I used to work with Estes. I mean, they're all down there, and so I worked that job. And going to work, if going to work's worse than work, and leaving work, and it's nothing against anybody who lives around there. It's just not a good neighborhood. It's where
Yeah.
they film. If they film St. Louis, the version of The Wire, they would go down to Hall Street. They'd start there.
Then they feel part of Escape from New York there.
Yeah, because
And they
it's
didn't
like
change anything.
this looks like 2030. Holy shit!
This looks like a post-apocalypse in
It does.
1985,
Yeah,
and they didn't change
and
anything.
not even Kurt Russell in long hair can come save it.
That's the great. That's what I
Speaking of
call
which,
it.
we're gonna jump off topic.
No,
Can I just say how much I appreciate Kurt Russell, and
Okay,
and the
do
fact
not-
that and the fact that he has gone from being a movie star in the 80s and the 90s,
wait, no, a child star. He
a
started out
child
with
star,
Child star.
but remember when he was kind of like a co-lead and he was the leading man?
Yeah.
Now he just has these amazing. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he plays the producer,
Yeah.
who doesn't want to hire Brad Pitt's stuntman because his wife hates him. And guess what? Who plays his wife? Real life stunt woman Zoe. I'll tell you what.
She's
I
phenomenal.
have told my wife, and she knows my top five, and we'll get into that later. She knows that I always
Oh.
told her if Zoe Bell comes to the front door and she starts talking with that wonderful, I think she's New Zealand, Australian,
or New Zealand
something-
accent, something
as-
down there.
as
It's
Paul
something
Rudd-
from the down under.
as Paul Rudd said in Anchorman, something weird,
Yeah.
something weird. But she's just great, and she just comes over. And, you got to think Zoe Bell, a stunt woman, gets to play a role where she gets to chew Brad Pitt out.
Yeah.
Just go, get the fuck off my set, Cliff, and it's just great. So that's Kurt Russell. He's doing all these great roles.
My wife,
Mr.
one day-
Nobody and
hold
Master
on.
Furious.
You want to have a good time, and you want to see something hilarious. I need to record this one time, and not let her know.
Not let her know.
So we had a pool in the backyard. You see the projector,
I see it. Yeah.
the projector behind me. We watch movies and float in the pool. As this is my movie room as well. That I kind of
Oh.
do. This is my Hootie Hut movie room podcast studio.
Look, man, as one big Austrian once said, John, I will be back.
Oh, dude, you're more than welcome.
This is just great because I want to say this on the podcast. If you don't if you can't see on the video here, this is a well lit room. This is not the doctor's office. This is not Walmart at 3 a.m. when you're drunk and you're
No.
looking for Cheetos. Okay,
It's
this
perfect.
is a well lit. He's got the lights that just kind of go around the thing. We know there's a door. We have Jeffrey Dean Morgan's bat that he
Thank
used.
you, Redbeard,
that
Knife
he-
and Leather.
Yeah,
Ed, you big bastard, you.
I'm sorry, Stephen Ewan. I loved the movie that you just made, Minari. But every time I see your face, I just see this bat. So
No more.
sorry, man. Hey, but hey, at least you remembered for something. I mean, do you think Stephen Ewan watched Grey's Anatomy and then there's Denny and goes, "Fuck, that's the guy that
No.
cut? They're crying over him. Let him die."
Just let him go. Just let him go. No, so let's get back to my story real quick.
I
So
know.
we
I
float.
let you off
Oh yeah,
course.
We'll float in our pool and watch movies. I'll smoke a joint. Oh yeah, at middle of the night. It's perfect. Summer,
This-
St. Louis
This
summers.
sounds like my wonderland.
Okay, this is this is every Hoosier's dream is my house.
Oh, this is my dream.
This okay. So every Hoosier, this is every Hoosier,
I'm-
St. Louis Hoosier's
I'm basically
dream.
a Lebanese Hoosier.
So
you know.
you're good.
I mean, I'm the kind of guy that will wear jeans to a fancy place,
Me too.
and one of these shirts.
Yep.
Just go, look, man. I'm
I
a
w-
t-shirt and jeans. I'm Jack Reacher.
I'm
Much smaller.
I'm pretty much sure I wore this to my mother-in-law's wake.
Yeah,
So we're good. But we'll float in a pool.
because you were showing love.
That's it. And my mother-in-law does not care.
No,
But
she
what-
wanted you to
I
wear
put
what
about
you
4
wanted
of
to wear.
these in her coffin with her. So that's the type
Yeah.
of woman she was.
Wouldn't it be crazy if you opened that damn thing later and 3 are gone? I go, all right, okay, I'm checking
Yep.
out. That's it.
Yep, I'm done. But we'll float in the pool. My wife's favorite movie is Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh,
She knows.
tank top, Kurt Russell.
She knows it
Oh
not
boy,
only
oh boy.
word by word, but sound
And I
by
will say,
sound.
You know, again, there aren't many actors
Perfect
who
movie,
can
by the way.
it really is. And every time you watch that movie, it's like watching Die Hard.
Yes.
You just even
Best
though
Christmas movie ever.
even though you want to ask Bruce Willis why he's a stunt man when that one scene, which I hate, when he gets thrown through, ladies and gentlemen, a stack of boxes. If my name is on that poster, he can throw me through a window. Okay.
Yes.
I'll Tom Cruise it. I'm like 2 Tom Cruises, but I stacked on top of each other. But I'd be more like Tom. I do my own stunts in movies, wouldn't you?
No. And hear me out. I'm 40 now. I did my own stunts
I'm 40.
back then.
Oh, your knees
There's
said
a-
no. No.
There's a
no.
reason why the VA told me to go home and sit down. Okay, there went, and I didn't retire with the service. I only did 5 years, 5+ years in the Navy. Thank you,
Thank you for your service.
thank you.
I mean it.
And went to the VA. They went, "Hey man, we need you to go home and relax until we say it's okay for you to be good." And I'm like, "Why is that? We're gonna send you to a doctor's appointment. We're gonna try to get you where you're not going, ow, ow,
Ow.
ow,
And I'll
or
tell
be
you
able
what.
to walk upstairs."
The
So
the
no,
wor-
I
the,
do not want to go be a stuntman.
the worst knee pain I've ever had is when I messed up I fucked up my sciatic nerve. And I don't know how I did it, but this is how I think I did. Now I was working in the warehouse. Ton of boxes are about 15 pounds. So I try to be the guy because I watched probably a Statham movie the night before. I grabbed 2 of those things. I bear hug them with both of my arms, and I could just feel my back go, "Hey fucker, you ready to hurt?" Because it's always a little bit of it's like a shot. It's like somebody stabbed your back with a needle.
Oh,
And then the next week or 2 weeks, I don't know how long this thing lasted. It's painful. I gotta take a hit.
we got more medicine if you need some.
Plenty of medication here. We should do a fake commercial. Hello, this is the Bud Doctor. Have you ever watched Chris Evans in Captain America and thought, I want that ass? Well, we have a solution. You go to the gym and you do this workout for 45 days straight. Your muscles will tear, they'll bleed, they'll whine, they'll ask for Leo or chocolate, but they will have a Chris Evans ass in 45 days. Just call this number and forward us your PayPal information, and we shall get you that. There you go. Back to the Lost Losers podcast, John.
Back to
and
the
this,
joint hour.
and this
What
asshole.
was I saying? Oh, back to yeah. Here's what I did. You'll love this. So when I was in the Navy, I worked on the Mark 15 phalanx close-in weapon system. It kind of looked like that guy right there, but with a hard on.
I like it.
With a hard on.
Oh, shit.
So, but it had 6 of those barrels that you see
Whoa.
there in the corner.
Holy moly.
It's at 75 20-millimeter rounds per second. That's what I worked on. The gun weighed about 200 pounds.
It sounds like you're the guy that could be Rambo and make the guns.
No, so I'm not even that cool. I just worked on the electronics and
Okay.
kept it up.
You were the
Anyways,
man in the
we're
chair.
not that cool. We were just I just pushed the button.
You were the man in the chair.
I was just a man in a chair. That's it.
You're Ned from Spider-Man. And
Man,
those
sure.
guys, let me tell you something.
So-
Spider-Man would be an asshole if he dealt without Ned.
That's right. I got pissed off at my guys one day when we were putting the gun back in after we were cleaning it.
Mhm.
You had to do maintenance on it.
Oh,
I got pissed off at my guys one day at my work center guys, like
Yeah.
the guys I worked with, because
Sure.
no one wanted to fucking put it put it back in the mount. I grabbed it, threw it on my shoulder, and was pissed off and walked it out my shop up 2 flights of stairs
Wow.
and put it in the mount by myself. I went, "You motherfuckers," and turned
Shit.
around and took 3 steps, and it looked like I got shot in the back. Like
Oh.
it was like the slow motion death.
and and
Like,
and,
walk.
and it's kind of like one of those things where it's not heroic looking like in the movies. You just kind of collapse like a baby, probably. That's what I would do.
I took like I was slowly stepping
Yeah.
in my doing one of these things. It looked like I got shot in the back.
Man.
And my buddy walked by me, who was my work center soup, went, stupid.
Stupid.
Did-
What's wrong with
he
you?
Goes, he goes, you proved that point, huh? Good job, idiot. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Guess what
Oh.
award you just won? Best moron.
he goes, best dummy award. That was when I was 24, and that has fucked me up ever since.
16 years,
Oh.
man. Well, hey,
But
you're looking pretty good.
I appreciate it.
You have a
So,
beard. You move around well.
I try.
You know,
You
you
have
know.
to, but while you're here, since you're the movie guy,
I'm the movie guy.
you have to settle a debate because I was on a gentleman's podcast. Jason, I can't think of the name of the podcast.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to light back up. This sounds like
Go
it's
ahead.
gonna be a heavy question.
He brought me on there for the movie Good Will Hunting.
Hmm.
What phenomenal movie! I love this.
I love it. And guess what, people? That comes on. The next 2 hours are just gone.
Yep.
And you know what?
Propped my
Really,
feet up.
since I'm kind of like a rewinder, probably 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Yeah, I'm watching a couple of scenes.
Yeah,
Twice.
like when Robin Williams talks about his wife, I become a baby or somebody slices a bunch of onions.
I love it because the camera shakes.
And you can tell.
Like everybody in that room
Yeah.
is losing it.
And the coolest thing about that is that Affleck and Damon will still say the movie doesn't get made without Robin Williams.
And the last line.
Yeah, he's the movie star.
If it wasn't for
Stole my-
Robin Williams
stole
and
my
the
damn
last
line.
line, yep,
It's just,
that's it.
and
They tell you that.
it makes you really, really hate like blue body dementia. I mean, it makes you really hate what I think is one of the. And again, here's another guy. Kurt Russell can do lead roles and supporting roles. Robin Williams could play a comedy lead.
Mhm.
He could even be in a drama lead, and he
Yeah.
could play a good bad guy in Insomnia and 1 Hour Photo.
Oh, he was phenomenal. In
But
everything.
then in Good Will Hunting, go back to your thing, he was just great.
So this gentleman, Jason, when I was on his podcast, he goes, "Good Will Hunting was not my favorite movie that year that came out. Titanic was."
Oh, okay. First thing, go ahead. You finish. I have a
Nope,
Titanic.
I want to
complaint.
know.
Look,
Hey, listen. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. I want to see, is he correct on this, or was I correct on that?
okay. So you were saying that
And here's why.
that's 1998.
98.
God damn,
We're
McGuire
fucking-
70. Fuck.
What a
damn world.
great fucking year in St.
God,
Louis too.
imagine if he was using this thing. You want to hit 80.
I knew where I was. I know where I was when fucking McGuire hit 72.
Oh man,
8
It's just-
was it September 8th at 8:18.
I was working the scoreboard, man. I watched that thing scream. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
It
we'll get into
screamed
it.
out of here. Okay,
I
but
would-
so
he-
Good Will Hunting. You think that was the best? He thinks Titanic was.
Yeah.
And well, I'll say this about Titanic. I think James Cameron, whenever he's done making his 45 Avatar sequels, look, he's a great filmmaker. But I think I have
I'm going
one
to say something to you, and you
one
might come out of your chair.
gigantic complaint. One gigantic complaint. I'm not talking about Kate Winslet's feet, okay? Because she has gorgeous feet.
Are you? Oh, dude. Okay.
But I'm just saying, at the very end of the movie, we all know what happens. The old lady's telling the story, and there wasn't. Are you telling me there wasn't enough room on that chunk of that dresser for you and a 115-pound Leonardo DiCaprio? You yank him up with your arms, with your boobs. I don't care, Kate, Rose, whatever your name was, Jack.
you put him in your cleavage. You had a great
yank
set.
him up. I mean, he's just becoming a Leonardo
Coddle him.
DiCaprio icicle. It's
But-
like everybody who hates Leo is like, yeah, die. And the poor guy, he saved her life. He saved her from Billy Zane. Billy Zane. You can't stare at him. It's like staring at an olive. You know, it's
I,
just
I have a child.
I have a child. We know your hair's moving. You're bald. What-
So
Good movie. And let me just say,
if it wasn't here, I'm going to say this about Titanic, and this is what I said about Titanic, and this is what I'll say about James Cameron. You might come out of your chair on this one.
oh, yeah. Mm.
Take the fucking ship out of Titanic. There's no movie.
No.
The movie, other than that,
Oh yeah.
and Kate Winslet's portrait.
Yes. And let me just say, every man and woman in the world did look away from that screen.
And I'm not gonna lie, every 17-year-old child
Yes.
went and seen a
It was because
8-hour fucking love story.
Because you know why? In that movie,
just for that, and just for that one scene,
I found that nudity from Kate Winslet, who I just love as an actress.
oh,
I mean,
great in everything.
one role that I always think she gets forgot about is Steve Jobs, where she played Steve Jobs' assistant, and I think it's just the actor. I mean, gosh, what is his name? He played Magneto.
Michael Fassbender.
Michael Fassbender is phenomenal. No offense, Aston. Is it Kutcher?
Ashton
or Kutcher?
Kutcher, whatever.
Kutcher. Hey, I will say, hey man, Ashton, you're doing a lot of great things with donating to Ukraine.
Yeah,
Mila
him and his
Kunis,
wife
I
are
mean,
great.
$35 million.
And counting.
You know, I mean, that's not just like, hey, I wrote a check for $4 million.
You're doing
more work.
You're doing J.J. Watt,
You know?
Houston.
It
Hurricane.
just reminds me. He reminds me of Paul Walker. Paul Walker wasn't a great actor, but he was in a lot of fun movies and he did a lot of charity work. You know, and Reach Out Worldwide.
I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that.
It's still going on. So hey, you know, Ashton, you can have that kind of effect.
I'll say that, and I'll say this.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd is our new Betty White.
Age.
Our new Betty White.
When Paul Rudd dies, way down the line, it's going to be
99. He's going 99. He's going out Betty White style.
He's going to go 99 and a half.
And when he passes away, everyone's going to go, "Oh man, too soon."
Yeah.
Just like Betty.
99 and a half. Because then he can go to Mickey Work. 9.5 plus a 9.
So okay.
Okay, so back to the question.
Back to the Titanic. Okay, back to my thing. My Titanic
demolishes that movie.
Okay, thank you.
Because
here's what I say about James Cameron.
It recently. This is the true test, John, of the longevity of a movie. I can watch it in the 90s. I can watch it in 2022. And my wife and I was reduced to tears. And it wasn't during the Robin Williams scene. It was in the scene where Ben Affleck tells his friend, you know, I really hope that I come up to your place one time. And this is paraphrasing. He's telling Will, he's like, I want to come up to your door and I don't want you to be there. And it's just because it was that moment I thought, I've been a Ben Affleck fan for a long time. I always thought he had more talent than people give him credit for, especially when he's matched with the right role. And it was just weird, John. I mean, I was just kind of like, I was like, what is going? This is not even Robin Williams. He just wants him to have a good life. Am I weird for crying in that moment?
No, because I get it. No, the best part is when he goes,
and his brother's in the movie.
And he goes, if we're 50, he goes, if we're still here, he goes, I'm going to put a bullet in your head.
I'm going to put a bullet in your head.
That is a great.
And Ben Affleck, his eyes here, you know, his eyes are just like lasers.
Here's why I love the part of Ben Affleck in that movie is because of his overacting.
Yeah.
Because he was still new to the game.
He still was. He was going for it. He was overdoing the accent.
He was still coming out of his fashionably male.
Well, watch this thing.
Scene.
Watch these two movies and watch his Boston accents. Watch him in that and watch him in The Town. In The Town, it's refined. Yeah. It's romantic almost, the way he talks to Rebecca
sounds like he's just been hanging out at the 7-Eleven on the corner for the last
smart pot.
You know. You gotta go get the car. Fucking car keys. Got khakis.
And him and his brother. And let me just say, Yellowstone fans, a very young Cole Hauser rounds out that gang.
Cole Hauser's first line in that movie cracks me up.
He just beats up Casey Affleck the whole movie.
Dude, his first line, because I noticed this because when I had to do my homework. Yeah. His first line, Cole Hauser's
ad-lib their childhood.
Cole Hauser's first line of the movie is talk about, hey, who's the chick in the zebra pants? She's got a great ass. It fucking makes me laugh for some reason because he's just drunk the first 15 minutes of the movie.
He was.
And then he wakes up and he goes, Who's the chick in the
He's the
zebra pants? She
he's
got
the
a great ass.
gingerbread tough guy of this group. I mean, they can all fight, but even then in that movie, Matt Damon's doing like that Travolta and Get Shorty punch. It's like, dude,
You
throw a
know,
hook.
the
You
Will
know,
Smith at
don't.
the Oscar slap.
Yeah, like, dude, come on, man. At least just
But
kick him in his knee. No, I'm
y-
just kidding. Or just reach. You know what he should have went down? He should have took his hand, and this would have been so much better. And just slapped his hand like, man, you better be nice to my wife, and then walk back to his seat and laugh. I just think here, let's just get into that.
okay, all right,
But to answer your
done with
last thing, Good Will
done.
Hunting doesn't just
And
beat
here's
Titanic.
and before we leave, James Cameron. I'm going to say this before about James Cameron.
Yes.
If it's not for Aliens, Terminator, Terminator 2, or True Lies, his career's garbage.
Yeah, I think there's movies that
And maybe The Abyss. I'll throw
I
The
mean,
Abyss in there.
yeah, the Abyss, the ending hits so hard, but it's really slow paced.
Yeah, it's so slow.
It's like climbing through a heavy
If it-
abyss. You're like,
yeah.
I'm gonna.
It's like JFK.
It's like climbing towards. Imagine you're like
I'm
Leonardo
dating the
DiCaprio
fuck out of myself.
in Wolf of Wall Street in that one scene where he's
On
immobile,
Quaaludes.
and you're trying to get to a joint. That's the abyss. The first hour and a half. It's
Well, you
just
still on
like we're
Quaaludes?
gonna get there,
We're on-
and then the ending where they're looking at it and they're just going, all this universe is just unaccounted for.
All right.
And but
Yeah.
I will say one of his most still easy to watch movies is True Lies.
Yeah, that's why
Arnold and Tom Arnold, they have such a great comedic chemistry. They slam each other. That is when Tom Arnold's character's not like sucking up to him.
Oh, there's
Get
pages
out of
missing.
here.
Yeah.
I tell you, man, it's
It-
just. But we're going to get into the Will Smith thing. But yeah,
Okay.
but just to seal that off, Good Will Hunting body slam.
But-
It rock slams.
And it should
Titanic.
have won best.
It should have.
Should have.
Yeah,
Take
it's like Shakespeare in Love losing to Saving Private Ryan. No, Saving Private Ryan
Losing the Shakespeare in Love.
And look, I like the movie Gwyneth. Take it easy. Don't make a special soup and
Yeah,
poison
take
me.
it easy.
Remember
whatever.
Daniel Day-Lewis in that
Yeah.
Phantom Thread? Even
Yeah.
Bill the Butcher. Hey, you see my hand, Amsterdam Vallon? I am New York.
Yeah.
That guy. I tell you what, if he ever, can you imagine being a set hand and he's walking around in character?
That's like walking around with Jack Nicklaus on The Shining with the axe.
Oh, hey,
You remember
Dan,
that? You remember?
this is not a latte.
It's not
This
that.
is shit. Okay. All right. You listen to Eminem
Bucket-
again?
That behind the scenes of The Shining, where Jack Nicklaus is
Yeah.
hyping himself up.
And then in real life, Daniel
Fuck
Day-Lewis
that.
is a sweetheart.
Yeah.
He's like, hello, thanks for this award. This is so nice.
Yeah.
I terrified you in Gangs of New York. I basically cut a man open in 7 different spots.
I've headbutted. I basically put my forehead through another man's
Hey,
skull.
while we're on Daniel Day-Lewis, Daniels are awesome, by the way. I don't go by Daniel. I only get called up by my wife when I'm in trouble. And I don't mean like, hey, you didn't flip the laundry into the dryer trouble. You mean you ate the last of the chocolate trouble.
Yeah.
That's when she busts out, hey, Daniel, because she knows I hate it. It just sounds like I did something wrong. You're using 2 syllables. My name's Dan. Dan.
Just you can.
But Daniel Day-Lewis, great Daniel Day-Lewis movie. Jim Sheridan's The Boxer, where he was in Ireland doing the wars. Oh, you got to watch it. And he falls in love with his childhood sweetheart again. And there's this Irish gang. There's just your man, lady. You know, it's just the whole movie. It's like Peaky Blinders the whole time.
I have not sat down and watched Peaky Blinders.
And it's a good movie. And the series finale movie is coming out soon, so it's a perfect time to binge it. And I will say it does one thing. There's a great Tom Hardy. I think he's in, a season and a half. A great Tom Hardy performance. It's like his Bane character traveled to the Peaky Blinders time.
That's awesome.
He talks like,
awesome.
"Oh, Mr. Wayne."
Oh, this is yours.
Yeah, he goes, "You merely adopted the dog. I was born into it, molded by it. I just love it." And the thing is, he's 5'7", and they have him in boots.
Dude, they have him in fucking.
He's like,
They have Gene Simmons fucking Kiss boots on him.
Yeah, he's like, "Hello, have you ever seen my lips and my tongue?"
When he hits his fucking Venom, he actually gets taller.
You know what though? Even though I'm not a big Venom fan, I know why they're good. It's just when I watch Venom and Venom Carnage, I hate Woody Harrelson's red hair in that movie. It threw the whole movie off.
I'll tell you, it seemed. I'm a huge comic book nerd. I'm a
Yeah.
nerd to these
I
movies.
used to be a comic book nerd, but then I kind of became just a movie nerd. And
I've
so I have and I'll mention her on this podcast, at Holy L on Twitter.
uh,
She is a comic book fanatic. She loves movies. She loves the Cardinals, loves the Steelers.
at
Sorry.
Geek Hawk News is a good podcast.
Yeah.
They do
But
great
she
comic
just
book
loves the
stuff,
comics.
and
Yeah.
they're up on the wall. The Oblivion. They're actually here in St. Louis or in St. Charles.
Oh, there you go.
The Oblivion
Okay.
Guys podcast. Oh, actually on the computer right here.
There you go.
These guys right here.
Representing.
These guys here, another comic
But
book.
yeah,
guys.
I mean, and like for example, I know she's gonna grill me whenever I watch Oscar Isaac's new show,
watched it this
Moon
morning.
Knight. I haven't watched it. How many did they release today?
One.
Just one. Okay, so
I think one.
Disney does the one at a time, right?
Yeah, they do it one. I think they're doing this one
Because
at a time.
sometimes they do the two at a time, and then they'll have the one. Like there's a new, and it just tells you all the shows. Apple TV
looking
Plus. Gary Oldman's got it's a pretty good show, and I got a chance to. I'll plug this later. I got a chance to interview a couple of people in the cast for 5 minutes. Not even a big interview, but it's an upcoming show about the MI5, kind of like the dump outs, the ones that messed up missions. It's called Slow Horses,
Oh,
and he's the leader of this ragtag
they released just
group
one
of
today.
MI5. Oh, okay, yeah, but yeah, if you want a good series, it comes out. I think it comes out April 1st. It's got Gary Oldman, Kristen Scott Thomas from the first Mission Impossible, Olivia Cook,
Okay.
who she was the lead in Sound of Metal with Riz Ahmed.
Okay.
She's been in so much more stuff. I'm underselling her. She's great. I get a chance to
What is
interview
the name of
her.
this?
It's called Slow Horses.
Slow Horses
that's,
on.
that's Apple TV Plus.
Okay.
And I would say I know it's $5, $6 a month, but you have a Chris Evans series on there. You have
Ted Lasso.
a Dave Batista, Jason Momoa.
That's a good one.
Ted Lasso, of course, is phenomenal. Roy Kent. Yeah, everybody's gonna fucking put in.
I have watched Ted Lasso.
Can you imagine Roy Kent?
Here, I will. Oh, dude, I would
My
love it. I would hang.
Give me the microphone.
Personally, I would hang out with fucking Jason Sudeikis. I would love to smoke
really
a joint
is.
with
And you know what?
Smoke a joint with Jason Sudeikis.
I will give him this unofficial award, and he'll never watch. He should watch this podcast, but I'm
Yes.
posting this link. There's going to be a link, right?
Yeah, I'll post a link later.
Oh man, can I block my kid? Can you put Statham on my head?
No, bitch. Hey, listen, I
hell?
told you treat this like live TV.
I
There's
know.
unedited.
I know. This is the day before the head shave, people.
No.
So this is
They're
not
gonna-
how I look
Listen,
in my prime.
This will probably go out. Let's see. This will we'll get done. Convert.
What time is it?
It's
It's
tw-
10:20. We got time.
but it'll convert while we're gone,
Yeah.
and then
Morbius.
we'll have, and it'll
Yeah,
probably be
we're
out
watching
later.
it early a day. Get over it.
And
Okay. I haven't heard good things.
I have not had anything good
I,
about
I,
it.
I have heard that people are just like Jared.
Yeah.
We got House of Gucci. You almost could have gotten a nomination for that because you were just so over the top in House of Gucci. It's like it's Versace. He's just. I mean,
I
he has
haven't
7
seen-
different accents
okay,
in that movie.
I went to go see
And-
House of
and-
Gucci.
And let me just say this: I have a Lady Gaga crush, and my wife knows this. She's short. She's Italian. Her name's really Stephanie. Or no, Stephanie
Yeah,
Germanata.
whatever.
Yeah. And of course, played by her dad, played by Andrew Dice Clay, in a great movie called A Star Is Born.
Fantastic.
which
Bradley Cooper.
Cooper was not nominated one time the Oscars. You know, John, it's where let's
Mhm.
just say my love for the Oscars was the way I was gripping this lighter. Because I can't smoke this without this. Let's just say there's no other lighters. Don't look at your torch.
Hey man.
You know, my love for the Oscars is kind of like this now, man. Because they're fucking nominations up. And even outside of the slap. Okay, but before we get into whatever, let's get into the slap.
Okay, let's hold on.
Okay, can I tell you my thoughts? The heat of the moment. I'm going to take you through it. Heat of the moment. I'm not even watching this show.
I'm going
I
to
skipped
take it.
it. I skipped
Okay.
it.
All right.
I'm watching the marvelous Mrs. Maisel instead.
Fantastic show. I love that fucking
Abe
show.
Weissman is my
telling you.
fucking spirit animal.
I
Okay, I don't want to leave my office, my study. I want to have the opportunity, the option
Yeah.
to leave my study. Hey, you know, we only use this for national emergencies.
Dude, I love. I try to get my wife to watch.
When
it.
I
She won't
was
watch it.
3, I could sew a
Dude,
shoe.
so anyway, here's what
Don't
happened.
worry, we have reload.
I threw my. I was fucking high as fuck. I ate 2 cookies. Oh, we still got that. Oh, we still got. We have plenty.
Oh,
Wait, we're good.
But yeah,
Brandon.
okay. So the whole thing
So
with this is okay.
here's
Go
how it
ahead.
played out.
Okay,
Here's how
you
it played
go
out
ahead.
for me. I ate 2 cookies. You know
Hello.
what cookies I'm talking about.
Oh, I know very well. I
So
have
I
tested. I haven't dared
so I ate
and
2 of those
survived.
and had 2 of these already. It was halfway through my second one when I jumped on Twitter here and went, Will Smith smacked Chris Rock. What? I'm like, in a movie? I'm like, this got to be a stunt. And then I see
That's
your
kind of what
tweet.
I thought.
So I see your tweet first. And
Let
my
me just
response was,
say that before I tweeted, I saw 5 that said I don't, and from trusted guys, not all blue check mark, just names that you trust.
Mhm.
They were like, I don't think that wasn't rehearsed because it just felt like he was going to walk up to him, and watching the replay every time, I'm like, what is he? Maybe he's just gonna go, point at him. But man, using his Ali move from his Michael Mann movie, whop,
and
cross.
what? So your tweet first. I seen your tweet first, and my response was because I read it first, and then I seen your tweet first, and I went, "That's real. I'm really fucking high right now. If he defended his wife, good on it."
Good on him. That was my response
And
too. And then over the next day,
then I seen the joke,
yeah,
and I seen the before.
he's laughing.
Everyone's okay. I seen Chris
Potentially,
Rock
yeah,
go down the line, which was he's
it
paid
was.
to do.
It
Okay,
is.
he's a stand-up comedian.
I can
One,
call it. I mean, and even Chris Rock would say it wasn't a good joke because he could tell the way it landed. He was kind of like,
he goes. It was
oh,
nice. It was
and
nice.
the whole
I
thing
think
could have been played off if you would have said this afterwards. But you
here
rocked that look,
adds
Jada.
here. Oh, or here.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna let you know what I think about it. One, Chris Rock's joke wasn't that bad. Two, as a stand-up comedian, he's up there taking swings. Most of them
yes,
don't land. And three, everyone else in that room was in on knowing
yeah,
she had alopecia,
sure.
and clearly
This is
Chris Rock
this is the culprit,
did
John.
not.
This is the culprit. One of the culprits, Jada Pinkett Smith. And ladies, don't come
Okay.
after me. I mean, I know what she's dealing
And
with. I mean, I know people that have that and they experience it. And by the way, she looks gorgeous with a bald head.
listen, black women,
Gorgeous. She was
look at me,
beautiful
black
before,
women,
but now
right
she's
now.
gorgeous. So, but when she had that scowl across her face, Will Smith went from laughing, and let's just say it's 2 laughs, one of 2 laughs. Either he's doing that nervous,
It looked
move
like he
on,
was like, "Oh, man, the
or it's
correct,"
just like, yeah, this is funny.
or
But when she looked and she did it, she turned to him, and you can see when he's saying, "Keep my wife's name,"
out of you.
she's like this. And I get it, ladies. I get it. He's defending, and that was my
Can
take.
we?
But over the day, I could see the wrong in both sides. I could see the wrong maybe in Chris Rock stepping over the line. You make a good point. Maybe he didn't,
If he
but
did
really,
know
Will Smith is the one that you can
here,
go. He's the one when he smacked. If Will Smith even said that from the crowd, keep my wife's. He
yeah,
would have almost like did this. He would have gotten up and been like, oh, oh, oh,
yeah,
But everybody played a role. I just want to make people understand that Jada
here.
played a role too.
She she played a bigger role than I think anybody will because it's really
Well,
needs
I
to talk
just
about.
said, I just
Oh, and because
give me some credit, John.
I agree with you, but you really need to talk about how there are toxic women that can bring down alpha males,
Oh, I
and you're
know.
witnessing it happen in
This
one.
is what you have to understand about them. They're Scientologists. I'm not into that religion. And yeah, so right then and there, and you're not going to win with these. These two cannot go to award shows together.
They can't do it no
They
more.
can't go. Either he goes, if he's nominated, he goes. If you're nominated, you go. Because Jada
That's
can,
it.
Jada can put up in
They can't do
television.
this because
Because
one,
they're thin skinned.
and they're very thin skinned now.
That's what my dad said.
They're
They're
too
thin
thin.
skinned.
You're too thin skinned
And
to
you
be
know what
in
he
there.
said? Will Smith, you're more thin skinned.
Yep.
Or
And
you know what? Maybe he's erupting. I don't know.
But you're watching. But in my opinion, you're just watching a toxic female. After that red table interview, how, if my wife or I had an open relationship and our business was getting on, and on that, I'm not going to go on and YouTube fucking channel podcast
Sure.
and blast it out on the fucking
Yeah,
world
that's the kind
and
of thing
go
where usually for me, what happens when a wife says about a husband, or a husband says about a wife is one thing.
between them. That's between the
Between
husband
them,
and the
but
wife.
when you open it up, and I think Will Smith, and you've never seen him do it. So Will Smith is holding this down and holding it down, and and he knows what Jada's out there saying, and then she has the medical condition with the alopecia,
Yeah,
and so you go into that seat, that awards, really coming off an
you knew.
all-time low ratings, and this was not planned. I will go on record, this was not planned.
No,
Nobody would have
I don't
said,
think anybody
because
planned it.
even Chris Rock said, man, Will Smith has smacked the shit out of me,
And
or
here
smacked the
and there's
fuck out of. I can't
and here's
remember.
for two things why I say it's not planned. One or three things. One, when Rock went, really, I can continue, and stopped himself about his jokes because Rock you could see Rock as a stand-up comedian and as a lover of stand-up comedy and a guy
Sure.
who watches all stand-up comedy.
Me too. I've
And
written about all the
I
guys here.
love,
Rafe Williams,
dude, I
Max
love so
Price, yeah,
as those and guys who take those swings
Tina
and see them.
DeBall.
You almost watch Chris Rock flip right into bigger and blacker Rock
You could.
right then, and when he went like this and looked over at the
And
producer.
and no, and it's almost like, maybe he was kind of ready for it. Maybe he was kind
He
of going,
knew he
uh-oh.
figured something was going to happen because
So he braced
because
himself.
he grew up in you got to think Chris Rock's been in stand-up comedy since he was 14, 15.
He's went from the floor to the ceiling, man.
He's going he like you
He
have to
started
think,
down in those ranks, man.
but
and made his way up.
he started as a open micer as like a 15-year
Yeah.
old at the Cellar in New York
Sure.
or something crazy like
Yeah.
that, if I remember correctly.
Like for example, the guy that I mentioned, Max Price, does
Uh-huh.
that a lot in St. Louis.
Uh-huh.
He went from being the guy that was kind of the open mic, the guy that introduced everybody, and now he's the
Yeah,
headliner.
and then he like open micer
Now
to
he's going to
to
featuring.
yeah, so he's doing all of that. He knew when Will Smith jumped up there, he wasn't going to come up there and give him a hug.
No, it was just the way he was walking up, and I just wonder what
He
in
in
that
the
moment,
he
what
was that was Will Smith
what made him get out
as
of that
a
chair?
that was Will Smith as a peacock opening up his feathers and
trying
strutting
to
his
fly.
fucking and strutting for his wife.
Peacocks can't
because-
fly.
And strutting for his wife because he's trying to impress this woman going, guess what? You don't have to wait until August. Okay. You don't have you got me. You don't need to go outside no more.
Yeah.
Look at this. See, I defended you.
Yeah.
You went up and hit Chris Rock. Now
The
if it's
worst moment. Because now
Because-
when people talk about his best actor win, and this is where
because you shit on the fucking award.
this is the whole thing. That acceptance speech by Smith was awful. And I will say this.
That was the
this
worst.
Is okay, John, I'm going to rewrite it. Are you ready? Okay, I am gonna take no, I'm gonna rewrite this first, and
Oh,
then I'm gonna
please do.
partake. So Will Smith, we all knew he was gonna win. He won all the right awards, the Screen Actors Guild, the Globes. He was just paving a trail. I mean, Andrew Garfield, who I thought for a guy who hated musicals, made Tick Tick Boom a pretty good experience.
Dude, I haven't seen.
He
Tick,
was
Tick,
a
Boom.
playwright. He was a playwright, a guy who I will just give it
By the
away.
way, I love La La
He-
Land. I like.
I know I hated it, but I understand the people that like it. But for people like me that don't like musicals, Tick Tick Boom was just by Lin-Manuel Miranda. It was
Uh-huh.
just fantastic. Hamilton, the Hamilton creator,
I
the
love
guy
it.
could just retire and make millions.
I have. So I
And
haven't
he's
seen Hamilton
directing
yet.
and writing everything.
Dude, I cracked up one day because you're gonna find out something. You might find something weird. Me and my wife go to sleep every night watching How I Met Your Mother on Amazon Prime. Like that's our just show. We'll just
Okay.
watch on a repeat for some
Mm.
strange reason. But he's in the season finale in like one of the episodes
Okay.
as a bus ride, or like as just a
And who is
passenger on the
this?
bus. Liz, the guy who wrote
Oh,
Hamilton.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's.
I think
I
I'm
was
saying
like-
his name right. I'm
Oh,
sorry if I'm not.
I'm not even going to try because I can't even enunciate my own name. So that's That's how we go there.
But okay, so let's say I
So
accept
anyway-
the award.
Yeah, go ahead. Go to your
Okay, so Will Smith, we knew he was going to win even before he slapped. I always thought, are they going to take his name out and go, yeah, put Andrew Garfield? And don't act like that shit can't happen because it can.
Watch
But
this.
so he gets the award and he gets up there. And I am not against a man crying. If I won an award down the line, if I somehow this mongery looking dude got himself into a movie, I mean,
Maybe one day if
I
they
would
do a
try to,
podcast award, maybe
yeah,
indie
maybe when
podcast.
John and
Yeah,
there
maybe
when
it's
we
an indie
accept our
podcast.
award,
Maybe
and
this
I'm
goes.
bowling, but he bowled so quick, and he tried to call himself a protector. I'm like going, women don't need protection, bro. This is where you're going wrong, you know, and it's toxic. And he should, this is what he should have said. Okay, before I talk about, hold on.
I can't wait to hear this.
Chris Evans. We'll do that again
America's
later.
ass.
All right. That's America's ass. Paul Rudd, man. I'm going to say the very end of the interview. Paul Rudd's ass, America's ass.
I
He goes,
love
yeah,
Paul Rudd.
go Chiefs. But I'll say this. Before, this is what Will Smith should have said. Before I talk about Richard Williams and his daughters and an amazing family, I want to apologize to Chris Rock because and I would say this blunt, you're a comedian. I'm an actor. I am evoke emotion too quickly and I acted childishly. And I want to say, you know, it's a human flaw that I'm dealing with because then you pull all her shit away and then onto you, but in a good way. And not that part. Okay, that was a little commentary, an asterisk. Okay, so here we go back. So I want to say sorry, Chris. That was not kind. That was not wise. And everybody would have just said, oh, "We love him."
Nailed it.
And Will Smith would have been. It would have been like the boxer that gets knocked out in the sixth, and he knocks the guy out in the 12th.
Yes,
You
that
know.
is.
But what did he do? And I'm going to write about this. Let me plug my newsletter.
Just
Shameless
plug whatever
plug.
the fuck you want, man. I'll give it.
Shameless plug. Ramble on with Buffa newsletter. Substack, which I share an article from Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has a Substack account. He wrote a great column where he said Will Smith had a bad night,
There's
and I'm almost ready to subscribe to Kareem's Substack. So
if
subscribe to
Kareem
mine.
if Kareem starts writing about winning time,
Yeah.
I might have to
Oh
subscribe.
man, we can talk about winning time. I'm 2 out of 3. I haven't watched the latest one, but the first 2 are good.
Oh, they're 4 in.
Oh, they're 4 in. Okay, now I've watched 3.
Okay.
I watched 3, and I love it. And I love the guy that's playing Young Magic. I think he's
Love
kind of
him, and I love the guy who's
quietly
playing.
carrying the show. Jason Clark playing Jerry West. He's just even though people were saying like people have to understand this is a show. Adam McKay is making fiction.
Yeah.
It's not going to be Jerry West. It's going to be Jason Clark, an
Boy,
Australian
we are
actor.
really good at getting off topic.
Yeah, we are. But you know what? That's what a
Fuck it, I
podcast
give a
is
fuck.
for.
Anyways, I
We
was
are
just thinking.
smoking.
Plus, I'm stupid high.
I'm stupid high.
But where were we?
But no,
at? Back to your no.
but so Will Smith.
Yeah, Will Smith. Then we'll talk
Okay,
about
so I want to say sorry to you, Chris. I mean, I can stand up here and thank everybody, and that's where you can get into some thanks. I want to thank Jada, and that's where you can talk about Jada, and he can really give him the good husband talk, give him the grace and or the grace to talk from him to her, and maybe talk honestly, and not say anything bad, but just do that, and then thank the director and thank Bernthal, his castmates, thank the actresses that played Venus and Serena. Thank Venus and Serena. They're right there.
Thank
and
you,
to say,
King.
Thank you, King Richard.
Yeah, thank you,
And
King
then-
Richard, for.
But I want to take the time here to not talk politically. I would say that. I'm not. I love an actor to go. I'm not here to be talk politics. I don't know
I don't know fucking shit.
about politics. As Ricky Gervais said, you are not qualified. You know nothing about the real world. And by the way, that is how. And by the way, Will Smith would never walk up, as Ricky Gervais would flip and beat the shit out of Will Smith.
I
would not mess with Ricky
Will
Gervais.
Listen, Chris, if it would have been anybody
The
else
Rock, he would have
on
been like rock
the
slam.
stage besides Chris Rock, Will Smith would have kept his ass in that fucking chair, 100%.
But he saw a young,
But
kind of
he
a
saw,
younger version,
nope,
smaller version.
He saw a smaller comedian
Yep.
that he's known for 20 years
20 years.
that he could get
He knew
away
that-
with it.
He knew that he could do that. Yeah. So this is what, and then you come back to Chris and you finish out. You go, so I want to say sorry, Chris. I mean it. I'm going to live with this, and I'm going to live it down while I do that. And this is how you can bring it back to you. While I do that, I'm going to celebrate what I've been striving for since whatever year you came in, late
Yeah.
'80s. That would have been, I mean, even Brad Pitt's speech for Once Upon a Time. What a great speech! Because even
Yes.
when he threw a political jab, it was like, whoa, that was kind of cool. And he
But
talked about the business, and he talked about stuntmen. He talked about getting to know that industry. It's an industry that I love. I mean, I can bitch and complain about Bruce Willis not doing the stunt, but I can just go, that gave a job to a stunt man.
yeah, and
And
and Danny Trejo said that.
yeah.
Danny
But the
Trejo
only
goes,
thing I
"You
guess
pay me to act."
that's on the director, was that they didn't cut out the face enough.
Yeah. So yeah, that's bad editing
That's bad editing
a bad
and a
a
bad
bad
mix.
cinematographer.
Yeah. But then that's
So
how I
that's
would
a
have done it.
bad thing.
And really, Will Smith would have had a better day. So Ramble On newsletter, I'm going to write about that. It's a
Yeah.
Substack account. It's Ramble On with Buffa. It's all my Cardinals content. We can flip into that. See, that's a good segue.
There we go.
We'll get into that team, which is going to be playing on April 7th. I mean,
Oh,
it's like we just got a couple weeks of spring training, and the season's like
10 days.
brum,
What are we?
brum,
We're 7 days
brum.
away or 8 days
Are
away. What
you
is today?
ready? We are. I think it's the 30th. So we're about
Oh,
we're
eight
about
days.
nine, yeah,
8 days.
eight,
Eight
eight
days.
days away. I'm not ready because as a guy who
It
writes about it, it's just you're like, whoa,
as a
whoa, take it
fan.
easy.
So I wasn't excited about this season at all. I'm not excited about Ali Marmol as our head coach or
Um,
manager either.
the only thing that I like to hear, even Mike Schilt didn't say this enough. He talks championship team, and Yachty's saying championship, and Pujols is saying champ. I
They,
like the ambition.
well, because
But the perplexing move remains, and even Mike Schilt would agree that, man, I had a good 3 years, man.
yeah,
So this is what I wrote about this, not for the Ramble on newsletter, no double plugs, but please
plug as
subscribe.
much as your
Hey,
shit as you
but
want.
and I will say this for my newsletter, which I give all my Cardinal content. I've started since January 8th. I've already written 75 articles for,
Jeez.
and I started a video series called
Oh, yeah.
In the Buff,
Nice.
and it's just me talking drunk. Hi. And it's just my chihuahua makes cameo appearances. He's like, hey,
That's
feed
how.
me.
That's how.
Yeah. And so I got this video series. I have a podcast. And Substack's got a great Substack's like WordPress on steroids. It
Really?
gives you a chance to have a paywall. And I only charge $5 a month for all that content.
Nice.
$46 for a year. And I'm just using it to pay bills. I'm not like using it to shave a monument. What's this? Again, it's my new joke.
I'm putting him. If
It's
I
my
make
new
it,
joke. It's like if Vin Diesel and Jason Statham had a baby and it was a Mossad agent. That's what you get with me, and nobody wants to look at that for too
Listen.
long. This is why I want to put the Statham on top of it.
listen, if I start making money ever off this podcast, you'll never know it. But one day you'll show up and there'll be a moat in front of the house, and you'll be like, "This motherfucker did
Oh,
it!
you
This
naughty boy.
motherfucker did it!"
He did it,
You're like, "Here I am trying to pick up some butter and some cookies, and this guy made it."
man.
And you're like, "What the fuck?"
Well, that's the great thing about getting to know you, man. This is
Yeah.
a cool podcast. We're
I-
buds. We
I just tried-
message. It's cool to have somebody on Twitter that you know and you've seen in face and you've clapped
really
hands
is.
with and brought in.
Yeah.
And I hope this helps teach people that I'm not a gremlin.
My wife went like this. Like I told my wife what was going on, and she goes,
Yeah.
"Wait a minute." And the funny thing is, you were on channel. She had Channel 5 on, and you were on there like doing something for
Oh,
like a
yeah.
movie review
Yeah, Channel 2.
or Channel 2.
I
or
used to be
someone-
on Channel 5.
That's it.
And really,
actually, it was Channel 2. Yeah,
and
It was
that's
the other
another
day.
story. Finding my way through Channel 5 to Show Me St. Louis
Yeah.
to television, and it was. I'll tell you, it's a weird sensation that we can get into, but being on television for 5 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's weird
but
showing
getting
up
to
to
know
my.
you has been kind
Yeah.
of fun because I get to see the home life. I get to hang out. We got
This is-
plenty of
I-
you know what. It's going to be great. Plenty
I
of
am-
medication.
Everyone who knows me, I am me from here. If you meet me in the street, I am me from me. I am just who I am.
Yeah.
But my wife goes, I was talking to my wife, and she goes, "That guy." I went, "Yeah." She goes, "You did what?" I went, "Dropped off some cookies that you made to him." And she goes, "You ever like take a step back and look at your life?" I went, "No." And she goes, "You need to." She goes, "You live a very interesting life, Mr. McQuad, because you meet weird people and just," she goes, now I'm starting to understand why you started this podcast.
Yeah,
And she goes, now I get it.
yeah,
Just now I'm starting to click with you.
yeah. Because
She
she
goes,
probably would look at me
she,
and maybe she wouldn't know that I smoke.
she
You
was
know,
like, yeah, she was probably like, what the fuck?
really?
This dude, that guy,
And
that
and,
guy on
and
the.
maybe it gave me some good street cred with Mrs. John.
Oh no, not with me. Everyone who knows me is just like, you're probably hanging out with the wrong guy. Like he's the guy who's going to get you in trouble by saying something out in public that's going to get you punched in the face, and he's going to be like, "Huh, did not expect that."
No, no.
I because I like to, and it's because I like to have fun, and I want people to laugh. I like to
Yeah.
make people laugh.
That's why they make people laugh. I like to make
But
the woman in the Starbucks, the clerk in the drive-through. I like to make
if
them
I
because they look so stressed. Man or woman, they look so
if
stressed.
especially people who work from a person who works retail
I
for
have worked in that. Yeah,
15 years of my life.
I worked in a movie theater, and during rush hour, you can have a test of your soul.
I worked at Schnucks. I've worked at Home Depot.
Brought to you by cough.
I've done door to door sales. I've done it. I've done it all. And so when I'm out in public and I see someone having a bad day, I'd like to
Yeah,
crack a joke
you're trying to
to
crack a
try just to
joke,
make their day better, or give me like
lighten the
yeah,
situation.
just lighten the situation
Yeah,
because life sucks.
life can suck naturally, and
Life is hard enough as
and
is. Let's
and
not make it harder on each other.
even with the ganja,
Yeah.
life is hard enough. So we have to brighten it up a little bit. That's
Yeah.
not even like corny. That's just we have to
What'd you
really
bring? What'd
just
you bring, by the way? Let me get it. Let me fucking.
yeah, man, get a hit of that.
Let me fucking
That's
hook
a caramel apple gelato.
Oh, caramel apple gelato, huh?
Yeah, you go by Suede and they have one of those $9 pre rolls. It's like a little afternoon smoke,
Oh, really?
but they have they have 6 packs that aren't that bad. Medical marijuana is some pretty potent shit, and it
I got.
hits hard. But I will say this: after smoking a bunch of Suede, I'll
Uh,
give them a plug because they're good people. Everybody that works there and at the Grove location is just
I do like
awesome.
that. That's good.
But
I'll be right back. I gotta fill up my cup.
fill up your cup, and I will keep yapping about.
Good.
Here we go, commercial
No,
break.
you're good. Keep fucking going.
But the one great thing about Suede is that you get to go in and talk to these people. It's not like you're dealing with robots. Hey, Kirst Train. Ha ha ha. It's like you're talking to real people who probably smoke. You can't work there without smoking because you got to know your shit. You got to be able to like be in that little selling room and go, here, you want to smell this? This is called sour diesel, Vin Diesel, Diesel. I smoke a little bit of that. Oh yeah, man. The coldest of beers. It's like getting handed like
Yeah,
that
I'm like fucking.
that first piece, that first muffin out of the batch, out of the oven.
People
Woo!
make fun of me because I'm pretty sure they're gonna start making fun of me because I drink literally gallons of sugar-free Kool-Aid
Hey man,
all the time.
it's sugar free.
Yeah, like, but people are like, you're like the diet version of Bert Kreischer.
I am not a crook.
I am. I'm not the machine, man. I'm like a
But
part.
but I will say this: after smoking a bunch of medical marijuana that in the last few months, that you don't have to get the 32-ounce or 32% THC banana runs cake. The
You
18.45 Freedom Fighter, which has 4 terpenes in it, will smack you
you
back
don't
and
need it.
forth.
You don't need to be like Joey or fucking Uncle Joey. You don't need to be like Joey
Yeah,
Diaz, man.
and I think my dad and I, we both chased that demon for a few weeks, like the Skywalker OG, like the bzzz
I'll
after
tell
you
you,
smoke.
the only thing I do that with is mushrooms.
Interesting. Yeah, see with the higher
I
THC
will
strains, I like to lean on the entourage effect that it's
if
the
you
terpene, it's
if you
everything.
can find a good mushroom guy. I don't have one, so don't come at me, people.
I have never
Uh,
done mushrooms.
my friends, you need to.
I've always put that on my bucket list. I'll have to be
Here's what you
planned.
you take 6 hours out of your day
Uh-huh.
and let's go.
Now,
And we can get something.
I've been told that you need kind of a buddy.
Yes, you need a friend. You need 3 people.
You need 3 people who are not
You need
doing mushrooms.
nope. You need 3 people. You need one to do it with. You need a good friend to do it with you.
Okay.
And then one to kind of control the crowd.
Okay.
And you need
Kind
you
of like
know
make sure we're not going to go
yes.
do anything like
Me on
stupid.
the other hand, I do it by myself, and I let my wife. I'm like, I go like this. If I get my hand on some mushrooms, I go, hey babe. She goes, I go, is it okay if I go check out? I'm like, and she goes, what do you? And she goes, we don't have anything going on. She
Man,
goes,
time is moving
she
slow.
goes,
I like it.
she goes, you gonna go check out? I went, yeah. She goes,
You're gonna
okay,
check
you can
out.
go check out. She goes, yeah, you're
Have
fine.
fun, baby.
And she goes, have fun. I will eat it. And she'll go, did you eat? I went, she'll text me, did you eat? And I went, yeah, I'll eat. And she'll clock it. And then she'll come check on me about 45 minutes to an hour later because she'll know I'll start getting sick. And she'll bring me like a snack,
Oh, okay.
like something just to make sure I'm okay. And
Yeah,
then I'll make sure there's music on and I'm off. Or
you're off.
I'll either have my headset on or I'm outside in my backyard. I got a swing in my backyard
Oh shit.
and I am done. Let me be off. The
You
shitty
start
part,
seeing. You start seeing all
nope,
kinds of stuff.
I don't see anything. I just get in a
Oh, okay.
perfect mood.
Oh,
Like
perfect
things will
mood.
start moving. The only time I've ever seen anything was at my buddy's wedding, and I had so many different fucking chemicals going through my system. I was drunk, I was high,
You're
I was
like,
on shrooms,
whoa,
and a guy handed me a bag of
sky rockets in sight.
some good coke, and I went
Mm-hmm.
and I was done, and I was like, I
Mm-hmm.
started seeing shadow people. But we don't need to talk about that.
Shadow people.
I talked about that on a different
Could
podcast.
be an that could be an episode of an upcoming.
But I will. It's beautiful. I love shrooms. Shrooms are the best.
Yeah.
But they're the best. And if you and I tried different strands, and they do give you different highs. It's weird.
Oh man.
But you gotta take 6 hours out and find a good one.
Yeah, this is pretty good stuff. I
I
like that
fucking
we
love
can,
it too.
I like that we can just sit here and smoke. Talk about Will Smith. I think we just wrapped up the Smith
Yeah.
idea. He fucked up his speech.
He fucked up, and he kind of tarnished his
He
legacy
did, and really
a little
now,
bit.
and as Jim Carrey kind of wisely said yesterday, this is going to follow him around. It's going to be a stinky one, even as Chris Rock has already said that he's myself a
But
cough
you
break.
fucking weed coughing up in this. That's probably gonna be the title. I should title this as weed cough. Just me and you coughing the entire
They
time
were
in
like,
the microphones.
oh my gosh. This is what you get when you watch a podcast. You have to accept it. This is not, we're just having some fun.
Oh yeah, they're not here for educational purposes.
That's good.
Like,
But yeah, but I think we could both. Everybody can agree. I think whether you thought who was in the right or wrong, that Will Smith could have had a better speech. And if you
yeah,
have a
he
better
could.
speech, then everybody talks about your award, your speech. They talk about King Richard and Richard Williams, and not like Will Smith walking up like a 15-year-old and smacking another 15-year-old. I mean, I don't think they're too far apart in age, are they?
What, Chris
Doesn't
Rock
se-
and
doesn't seem that. It seems like Chris Rock might be a little bit behind him.
I think Rock's older.
Okay,
I'd look it up, but
my phone's over there.
I don't fucking. I'm not that worried about it. But
We shall
It's
call
over.
them 52 and 49.
yeah, whatever. It will fucked up. I think it tarnishes his legacy a little bit, or a
I hope
lot.
the dust. I want to see if the dust settles. That maybe he needs to come out and make an appearance. The apology on Instagram was, and through all the
Twitter,
social channels.
his family. I'm
Yeah,
over his.
Jada. Yeah,
I'm over his family.
Yeah, Jada. The son didn't help when he said that's how we do things or something like that.
I'm over his family.
It's like
I'm over
you
him.
need to take that kid's phone away.
You guys are trying to be like
He's
the.
not even a kid anymore. How old is Jade?
I don't know.
Probably
He's in his
18,
20s.
20s, yeah.
He's got to
man.
be in his
Guy's
20s.
a young man. Okay, take the young man's phone away and go, no, don't do that.
Little,
You're not helping your dad.
Yeah, just
Because don't make any
Go-
actor out to be a gangster.
go live on
It's a different time.
on the Smith compound for a little bit.
Yeah.
Peek your head out in about
Watch
a
Fresh
month.
Prince of Bel-Air.
Ooh,
Watch
that's not
some-
great.
I know, but just watch it though. You got to learn.
That made me cancel my Peacock subscription. Or is that on HBO Max?
Maybe watch an episode just to kind of get a dose of your dad, and then you get to watch Independence Day, which I think
Or the new
really
one.
showed off his charisma. And Jeff Goldblum,
Bad Boys,
great.
Independence Day,
And I even like I Am Legend, even if the alternate ending
I Am Legend.
fits a lot better.
I love
especially if he's coming back for a sequel. I'm not sorry, is that a spoiler alert 10 years later? Whatever.
with Michael B.
changed.
Jordan.
Yeah, with Michael B.
Yeah.
Jordan, which I think that it's just awkward. I wonder who's going to write it. I wonder who's going to direct it.
I don't know how they're gonna do this.
I don't know how they're going to do this because their ending is that he blew himself up.
Yes.
In the alternate ending,
He
just
drove off.
He essentially handed off the female zombie that he had been kind of nursing back to health, who was kind
Yeah.
of what who was motion captured by the great Dashby Hoke, who has been
Uh,
he was the police officer in Silver Linings Playbook. He goes, "Hey,
I
buddy,
love that guy.
Pat, 100 feet, okay." And then he played
I just
Bunchy.
watched that movie the other
He
day, by
played
the way.
Bunchy Donovan and Ray Donovan with Liev
Hmm.
Schreiber and Eddie Marzen. But he motion captured that lead guy, and all he wanted back was his girlfriend.
Yes.
And so Will Smith ended a
What?
whole hunt.
There was another movie that he was in. I can't that I always bring up, and I can't remember what it is that he was in. Doesn't matter. I'm high. Uh
Yeah, I'm kind of I stopped on that one because I'm at that perfect little
yeah. I
you,
was
because if you know when you're high,
yeah.
you don't want to get too high
Because
because
I looked.
the parachute's going to bring you down, so you just want to float, fly, just kind of enjoy the high.
Oh fuck! It's already fucking.
Yeah, but all we're doing is
Yeah.
going over to. I mean,
All we got is
I
fucking
don't want to
a
give too
50.
much details.
We only got 15-minute drive up the road.
Up the road to the
Yeah.
theater, over by the Waffle
15.
House,
Yeah. By the wall of the 54th Street.
54th Street, and the TJ Fridays.
Uh. But
Isn't there a three kings
yeah,
and their overrated wings?
I've never eaten there.
I'll tell you what, if you ever get down to South City, man, have JJ Twigs.
I love
They
JJ Twigs.
fry.
Love JJ
They
Twigs.
fry their wings.
I wish
I wrote about them. Hey,
that
there you
I
go.
seen that.
Another plug.
I did see
Ramble
that.
on with Buffa
You know what I
newsletter.
wish was open?
That's what you get. You get
All right.
everything.
By the way, I owe you an apology because
Uh-oh,
I
what
came
did I
at
do
you
wrong?
hot one day at a fucking story out of the blue that I'm like, man, I probably should have came out with you at that story about what happened at the brick.
Yeah.
Apologize for you coming at you hot on that story. I'm not going to bring it up because that story is a behind the
No.
scenes story.
No, that's no big deal.
But
I'm trying to slowly break in my audience, and
yeah,
this is weird for
I come
me.
at people hot right off the bat. I come at people acting extreme, and I feel bad sometimes.
But I wanted to write about. I'm trying to write more about it, and even the local rep reached out to me. I forget his name. Epen. I mean, there's some local
Mhm.
rep that is working to try to get the marijuana bill pushed through, and he reached out to me and said, "Hey, thanks for writing that." I'm just trying to share my experiences, as in like saying, "Hey, it's not considered like one of your
Here,
medications that you take every day."
it's not the medication here. I will break it down. I'll give you my 10-point real quick why marijuana is not illegal across the board. Because do you know what the number one cash crop in the United States was for the first, I don't know, 150 years this country was established?
No, tell me.
Marijuana. It was hemp plant.
Marijuana.
Do you know why it's hemp plant?
Why?
Because you can make clothing, you can make paper, you can make rope, you can make
Hmm.
thousands of fucking things with
Somebody
this
else
one
brought
plant.
this up. Somebody else brought it up.
With this one plant. Then, on top of that, not to fucking put on a conspiracy theory hat, but it's very funny to me that no one has ever brought this up, and I'll probably get if I
Oh
come
no.
on. If
Oh
I
no,
get
there's
shot,
somebody on Facebook. Craig Kohler brought up the actual usage of it and
oh
how
no, I don't.
how
No,
it's
wait,
held
hold on.
off.
This is where I was going with that. No
Oh,
one's ever brought
you're
this up.
still
Hold
going.
on. Hold up.
Hold up, Denny boy.
And I'll come back to marijuana. It's very funny to me that no one's ever brought this up, and if I end up dead one day, then you go, oh, he was probably right by that.
I know. Fuckers.
That the United
Yeah,
States
just had a
government
Boston
just
accent.
ran the same playbook that they did in the 80s with flooding cocaine
Yeah.
into the inner city. They did it
Man,
with
it's a terrible period of all that cocaine on the streets.
yeah, they did it the same fucking thing with opiates because they took over Afghanistan and had nothing but fucking fucking poppy seed plants, and there ain't enough
So
fucking
is that how it's
bagels,
said? It's not opioids. It's opiates.
opiates or whatever.
Okay,
Opiates.
that sounds better.
Opiates.
Opiates. So yeah,
Heroin.
that's the current thing that's
Opiates.
really just. It's what
Yeah.
kill more people than Americans in Vietnam.
Exactly. So this
It's a big number, right?
exactly, and these pharmaceutical companies
I know it's a big number.
pump out fucking opiate fucking pills and pain pills and oxycontins like it's fucking Tic Tacs. Remember what is it? Cocaine Cowboys? Do you remember that? You ever seen that documentary?
Yeah.
Or was it that pharmaceutical one about what was going on in Miami, like the health and wellness fucking
Well, isn't there an award-winning set?
Yeah.
Michael Keaton got an award, an Emmy, or
Oh
Gold
yeah,
Globe for Dope Stick.
yeah, those.
Now, I don't
Those.
have Hulu. That's the one I don't have. I'm going
Uh,
to get it because they have Ben Affleck movies now with Ana de Armas from Knives
oh,
Out, and I don't
hello,
even care. Deep
hello,
Water. To me, that looks like
hello.
a shitty ass
I'll just
'80s
give you my access.
romance story, but it's got those two, and I like Ben, and I can look at her all night, especially in their No Time to Die little cameo there.
No, fantastic.
And then she just
But
left, and the movie kind of went, eh.
here,
Hey, look,
so
Wall, stop it.
anyways, back to what I'm saying about medical marijuana, why it's not legal.
Sorry, back to you.
So now you come now you legalize fucking marijuana. You cut the opiates. Now you legalize marijuana. You cut paper, clothing. You cut cotton, lumber. You can cut and pharmaceuticals all by one plant that can grow in 90 fucking days.
90 days.
You cut how much of that fucking money from those businesses?
Pulling money out of pockets.
That's a lot of pockets from one little fucking plant.
Yeah, that's a
But
lot
that's
of
how it all
pockets.
started. But that's how it all
yeah,
started.
yeah,
Is that
I,
assassin of the youth? Those
I get it.
because 3M owned all those lumber and milling
And
and
that's why at the moment,
paper
yeah,
and what's on the paper, the
sure.
newspaper and shit like that.
And that's why I said at the moment, I mean, let's just go. Let's get it
Fucking
fully
open it
legal.
up now. We all know the fucking. You all know why. We all know why the secret's open. Let's go.
I mean, look
Let's
at
go.
us. Are we harming anybody right now? We are smoking
No.
more than probably most people in this area at the moment.
Besides my father-in-law.
Besides probably a couple of my friends that have already woke and baked. I mean, what are we at? We're at 10:59. Oh,
Should I roll one more? Yeah, we should roll one
I
more.
think so. Yeah.
I gotta grind one up and. Or do I have enough there?
Our heart rate's at a nice steady 92.
You know, I do. I should have enough right there. Fuck it.
What is a good heart rate? Is that a good heart rate? 92.
I don't know. You gotta ask my wife. She's or my son. My son's a nurse. I can wake him up.
Good.
You know, he's in there sleeping right now.
I have this
He's gotta-
special. I
he
have this
actually-
special
hey.
watch that essentially was given to me for my high blood pressure, which I have, but I have medication, lisinopril, for it, and I have to write it down and take it,
But
and it's always just like crazy.
where we? All right. So yeah, it's just legalized marijuana. It's fucking.
Just
the-
legalize it.
You know, you cut all those businesses out. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
They'll
mean,
find
because-
another way, right?
We'll find another way.
You know, then they would tell us with gas prices. You
Wanna
guys
tell
will
what
find
we
another
should
way.
do before we smoke, though. We should have some bagels.
Grab a bagel.
I am
bro.
going to release my headphones and
Go grab a bagel when I'm rolling this up. But
and this is called a commercial break.
no, oh, you're good. I'm gonna ask you a question while you're thinking about it. We're gonna talk about some Blues hockey real quick. What do you think about the needy trade? Because I think it was a very, I think BK said it, and I'm gonna.
Oh,
That was a very. BK said it, and I agree with the guy, and I hate to give the guy credit because I don't agree with him because he's a Chiefs fan.
who's that?
BK.
Oh, okay. So
It was a very
I've
John
always known-
Mozeliak move.
which one was that?
The Needy trade. The Blues trade for Needy was a very John
Yeah.
Mozeliak move
Yeah.
because you shored up. If it would have worked out if Krug
What's
wouldn't
the
have got
guy's
hurt.
name? Nick Leedy?
Nick Needy. Needy.
No, I think it was Nick Leedy.
Leedy.
And yeah, he's kind of a. You see his. And now look, I don't take plus minus rating really seriously, but with
That's
a
like win.
defenseman,
That's like win losses in the starting pitcher.
but with with the but with a negative 27, you kind of go okay, So he's kind of more probably of an offensive kind of defenseman, and that's kind of and he's a left-handed guy, so that's kind of what the Blues needed.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those trades. You just go look. You love Oscar Sundquist, but were you ready to pay him the money that would maybe require to pay to keep him around, and also other
Well,
people?
You have.
I mean, can you keep
Sonny was
Tarasenko
on-
around? Tarasenko's still got it.
Here's what I'm gonna say,
I'm just gonna have a bagel. Chew it.
bro. Knock a bagel out. I was gonna make breakfast
That's a
burritos.
bagel. Oh,
I was gonna make breakfast burritos this morning. but-
Oh.
I got busy doing something else and ran out of time. It was a very mosaic move because here's why: it shored up the one thing you needed. You knew you're not. We're not going to compete. You might catch fire in the Stanley Cup or playoffs. You might catch lightning in the bottle, but you know you're not having a winning Stanley Cup team this year.
No,
You're battling injuries. Your goaltending's not as hot as it should be, rolling at this point. But you shored up what you needed to
unless they have
make a good run.
like one of those runs where they can just blow through the competition, which they can't. I mean, they aren't playing well against good or bad teams.
But you got but with
Their defense is still kind of struggling,
but
and their goaltending can be left out to dry.
if Krug wouldn't have got hurt,
If
this
Krug, yeah,
needy
certainly,
this needy trade
he's
would
a
have
big
worked out
part of it.
perfect. It would have worked out. I think it would
Yeah,
have worked out great. Maybe you learn to play Huso at home and Bennington on the road more. Just saying. But I think it would have worked out perfect. But then you free up that 2.5 in the offseason. You move Tarasenko, and there's a kid in Calgary whose last name is pretty prominent in this region.
Oh yeah, Mister Kachuk.
Matthew Tkachuk.
Matthew Kachuk.
And I tweeted this back out to you last night. I would trade Tarasenko's legacy in St. Louis for Matthew Tkachuk long term right now, without hands down. I love Tarasenko. Thank you for being a Blue. I appreciate everything you've done, but you miss one timers at the net at a clip of 7 out of 10 times.
Whose water is?
Go ahead. Yours.
Oh, it's the
Yours.
This is the,
I brought
this is the
I brought it over
podcast.
here for you, man. That's why I brought mine. That's what I say. I think it was a very Mosaic move with an Armstrong touch for looking at a crystal ball and bringing it to the or going to the future.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where you got to try to build a team that is kind of competitive for a little while. You got big contracts, and but for them, really, it's the goaltending. You got is it
Yeah.
is it Billy Huso or is it Jordan Bennington moving forward?
Right now, if it's me, I'm riding Huso at home. You okay?
Oh yeah, I'm just,
No.
this is a little Fitbit watch. Just gives me too
Yeah.
much information.
And so you got to play with you're
Yeah.
high and playing with it.
I'm messing with it. This is probably the one time I shouldn't be looking at this.
No,
You know what? This is getting taken out.
oh no, I went like this. I
will say that I may want to slow down.
I went like this, and that's why I took my watch off. I had it at the camera. I realized a spam call was showing up. I went, oh, someone important calls me. Their phone call is going to show up on the internet, and I better not do that.
This is like hello.
Uh,
But no, yeah, the Blues.
I think it was a very good
the
move.
Blues are
but
going to
they
get in
need-
there, and they're gonna maybe they win a few playoff games, but I just can't see unless they can really like kind of hone in their game. It's just like one night they're great, one night they're not,
They're yeah.
and then they they have to kind of play very well in the end to pull out a victory.
They haven't started well. They haven't played in the middle. They're slow starting. They don't play until about 5 minutes. Here recently, 5 minutes left until the second period. And if Jeremy Rutherford is hearing this, he's probably screaming at me, telling me I don't know what I'm talking about. And he's right.
But hey, you know what? We're not Jeremy. Jeremy's great. He's the most. I've had a couple.
Love Jr.
I've had a couple of the Grands deli
with-
meetings with Jeremy, and he's the most soft spoken guy in the world. He isn't like one of those sports where it's like He's just kind of a guy like, hey Dan, how you doing? Yeah, those Blues are just. He's just
I know Jr. very well.
He's a good dude.
I worked with his son. I worked with his brother, his son.
Oh, cool.
His brother when I worked for Schnucks, and then
That's good.
that's how I met him. And then
But yeah, the Blues. Yeah.
But-
So really, let's get into those Cardinals.
let's go.
The
Let's go.
Cardinals have they essentially squeaked into a wild card game with a 17-game winning streak last season. That was following kind of another kind of a squeak in 2020 performance where the Padres kind of bounced them.
Yep.
And then before that, they had the playoff series win over the Braves, but then the Nationals kind of said, "Yeah, none for you."
That was when and that was right when Schulte took
Scherzer,
over.
Yeah.
and they had to go on that fucking August run just to get in or something like
Yeah.
that.
And so, they
But
they don't follow up. And of course, you have the lockout, which did not help things. And they do some pitching depth moves. Drew Verhagen, I think Nick Whitmore,
when your biggest offseason pitching
and Corey Dickerson, who I think's a
si-
guy who's had
marts,
Steven Matz.
Mats, thank
That's
you.
the thing. Come
That's
on,
your big
Marcus
pitching.
Stroman is the man they should. I will say this on record. If they had signed, I'm using my thumb like I'm
Who are
Hawkman.
you,
I'm
Bob Dole?
Hawkman.
Who are you,
Hey
Bob
yo,
Dole?
but
I'm Bob Dole
if
now.
they had went out and got Stroman instead of Steven Matz, who is one of those guys you hope is just going to give you 5 to 6 innings and not give up the game and
Get it to your
not get
bullpen.
drilled by a certain team, get
You're
beat
looking.
up. So it's kind of more of a wish upon a star contract. I think Stroman, if you paid a little more, your rotation, especially now without Flaherty for a couple months, and you don't have Alex Reyes as that, hey, go let the kid start. Don't pull him in the bullpen. Alex Reyes has to be redeveloped. He has too many. Let's just go off on that. He has too many pitches to be a reliever
Okay.
because he needs 100 pitches to be able to go okay. Now, if his body can
Reyes
handle it,
Reyes needs to be a starter. I agree with you there. And you're hoping to
but
get him
he's out
stretched out.
now too.
But he's out as well. When
But
you're big,
no, Labrum is afraid. Labrum is Flaherty.
yeah. No, he has this. No,
What is Alex Reyes? What's his thing?
his
Shoulder
shoulder,
stuff.
shoulder,
Yeah. Oh,
and Flaherty has
tendinitis.
this.
Yeah.
He has the slap tear in
Yeah.
his.
No, they call it frayed.
I thought they said they
It's
called it
almost
a.
like, is that a minor
So
tear?
he has a fray now because of the pitching mechanic, but he said he's always had a slap tear.
He's always had.
He said he's always had
So
the
he's
slap
pitched
tear,
with it.
and he said it's very weird that it's come out now. That was the. Oh, now that you're starting to. That Flaherty's not going to be here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to say that right
No,
now. I'm going
I
on
don't
record
think
right now.
so.
Flaherty's done.
Yeah, I mean, let's say
Flaherty
he
won't
comes
be
back.
here.
Let's say he comes back in end of May and June, and he has a great season. They say he wins. Wins aren't a big deal, but still, it kind of looks good on a contract offer.
Mhm.
He has a good ERA. It's under 3. He strikes out a bunch. He still has a 10 strikeouts per 9, so he's still in that prime. I don't know. I know his arbitration. He's still kind of in the midst of it, and it's been ugly once.
He's signed this year. He's already signed.
Yeah, but then there's next year.
Then there's next year, and then he's a free agent.
And he's getting kind of older, and he's already proven that he's kind of a little breakable.
He's a little
Come
breakable.
on.
He
I tell you what, John, you can't really go after Flaherty on social media without getting. It's like attacking Kit Harrington, Jon Snow. It's like he
It's-
isn't that like, oh, what did you say? Don't you dare. So
Flaherty will come back at you on social media.
I look, I
know,
understand. Look, I'll be one of the guys that goes. I know he uses this platform. Look, you can be you can be a social activist, but you have to be on that field. You have to be performing,
If I will say this,
especially if you're a young player.
I
All I
do
want
not.
him to do is be healthy and pitch
If I'm Jack
and continue to
Flaherty,
use his voice.
if I'm Jack Flaherty, and I'll say this, if I am young Jack Flaherty, and I can say that because I'm now 40, and that fucking feels terrible saying that out fucking loud. If I'm young Jack Flaherty, and I let a rookie starting pitcher work 2 9-pitch full count at bats with me and goes 1 for 2 on me, I'm not going to go out on social media that night and tout what I fucking think. I'm going to go think about my game, and then maybe when I have something to brag about, I might go, oh, by the way, did you see this? We should see this as well. I did great as well, but also put light on this as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's just
And I think
just
that's where I think
perform.
and that's the form. I think it's the motion.
perform, and I also think that there's not a great bond or healthy blood between the Cardinals
And his front
and
office
and this
after
young man.
he learned what art because the arbitration is the worst
You don't want to take your supposed ace or your left fielder to arbitration. It
Here's
doesn't look good.
here's the best way to explain, because this is the best way I can explain to my wife what the
I
arbitration
love
hearings
the
are like.
caps. You can just
Yeah.
like put a little, you can keep
Fuck
the
yeah.
cool. Don't escape.
This is the
Aliens in
best way I
there.
explain the arbitration system to my wife. I'm like, imagine me and you start dating.
Sure.
At the 1 year mark, we have to decide if we
We
want to
have to
get married.
decide.
We have to decide if
Yep.
we want to get married or
Yep.
if we just want to continue dating.
Sure.
And then we have to list the reasons why.
Why the reasons, the good wings
The
and
good.
the bad.
And then I got to tell you, and if you go, oh, yeah, we should get married. And I go, no,
No.
I have to tell you
Told me
why
too much.
I think we should not get married.
You have to argue your case in
Of
court.
why I should not marry you, but we should continue to date.
So
And she goes, that's terrible. I went, right?
it's kind of like this, people. I'm gonna go on my Tyler O'Neill rant. I know that you don't just want to fledge the process. It's like Steve Spagnuolo once said. "Hey, okay, hey man, only hey, it's the pillars and it's the process.
I'm gonna put
you
on
know?
devil. I'm gonna devil's advocate because I'm a disagreement. I'm in a disagreement on you, Tyler Neal, right now.
Oh, you don't? Yeah, you don't want to do that. I think you have to just pay him what he wants or come into the middle a little more.
I don't know what his offer was. What was his offer? What does he say? He wants like 5 or what's 7
He wants
or what?
no,
I don't know. I don't know what he wants.
no.
5? No.
He wanted I think 4.5.
Okay, it was lower.
No,
I figured he wanted 5.
he wanted
7.
4.15, which is for what he did last year, even the year before, is a bargain. And then the Cardinals came back with 3.3, and it's just like pay him, come up to like 3.9. Come up to the middle.
I will agree with 3. I would agree with 3.6 here, and here's why. He had the half year, and then he had last year.
Mm-hmm.
Do it this year.
Mm-hmm.
We're paying you.
It's probably what's going to happen.
And stay healthy because the year before
I think that's going to be a number they're going to come up to.
And
3.7, 3.6,
3.6.
Yeah.
The half year was because you're injured, or the year before you were supposed to have a breakout year. You were injured. You got injured. The half year you were injured. You're now just starting to put on a healthy longevity part.
Mm-hmm.
Do it for one more year. Prove that longevity.
And also,
that 500 bats. Do it again. I'll pay you your.
And they should also think this way
What?
too, that if you perform well into the year, they'll probably just give you an extension.
Yeah.
Eat up your arbitration, and give you.
It will come back. If
maybe
you
not
figure
eat up too much of your free agent. Maybe 1 year of free agency, but they'll give you a contract. But I think
for 15,
well,
2 year, 35.
I would have
33.
liked them to come up and just pay the guy $4 million. The guy's going to be a beast. I think Tyler O'Neill winning 2 Gold Gloves in a row, his bat's coming around. He's able to basically use his speed. I know that's that thing. It's almost like put it back on. That's why I'm eating a bagel. Because these kind of things will keep you on watch. So
that's connected to your doctor's office, man.
So essentially, I've been on the Cinepro, a little health sidebar. I've been on. My wife was fierce before we were going to reproduce. She's like, "You're going to go get your blood pressure checked," and it was high because it's in my family, high blood pressure. You can be in great shape.
I can tell. I can tell by your writing sometimes that you're angry a lot.
Yeah. I just kind of let it go.
You know why? Because I'm angry a lot. I just can feel it. It just comes through.
Sometimes,
why are you yelling at me?
Sometimes you just have to I try to use no exclamation points. I just want to keep talking.
Yeah, I'm the same way. That's why I started a podcast, because my writing sucks and my sarcasm doesn't come through.
Yeah, so I've been on the Cinepro for a while, but then when you go to the doctors and you turn 40, and it was a little high that day, and I was like, it's high because I'm in this fucking room.
I hate going to the.
This is confidentiality, but you know what? I'm the patient, so suck it. It's basically like they send me home with this watch, and I record my blood pressure, and it's pretty good. I mean, look, the top number can be a little higher. Like if it's nice and steady, it's 120.
Yeah.
And if it's really good, it's 73. 75. So when maybe the top number's good, the low number's a little high, and I can buy that.
Don't be smoking too much weed back to back. They'll really start asking you questions. Get your blood pressure.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Man, I went on this podcast. We started talking about the Cardinals. Here he goes. This guy passed me.
But no, I've already recorded it for the day.
Yeah, smart. Before you got
Well,
here, you're like,
I'll,
oh fuck, man, I'm
I'll
going to
take
this
a
guy.
puff.
So
But no, this is great. Basically, whenever I felt real high, I know it's going to be better. You just have to wait. You just
well,
have to slow. You have to eat something, not a lot.
no,
Like I'm chewing on this bagel. I'm basically like Paris Hiltoning, back in the day,
yeah,
nibbling through a bagel because you don't want to overwhelm it.
yeah, oh yeah, I get it. So back to the
But
Cardinals. So
but
this,
this whole the Cardinals, which do not do support cardiac arrest.
yeah, so Tyler O'Neill,
Yeah,
3-6 pay him next year.
go
Or
out and do it again.
okay, at the All
That's
Star
what's going to
break,
happen.
if at the All Star break he's raking,
13 home runs already,
he's
15.
yeah, he's on pace for the do what he did last year. What did he end up with? 25,
He ended up with
278. What do you had? 25, 278
And the good thing
average
about him
and
is,
100
he
RBIs.
he was able to kind of get on base at times a little more than usual. He was able to steal a base,
Yeah, he's
and
got great speed.
he does have that. He has left field and left center, and if you have
Covered.
Bader, you have almost 3/4 of the outfield because Dylan Carlson can just go if it's hit directly to right field, I'm gonna get it because if
Yeah.
it's right center, Bader's like
Is it?
And I'll say this about Bader. I've had to come around on Bader, but Bader has proven over the last 3 seasons that he can be consistent because that was his whole deal. We always knew that he had ability. He was a good defensive center
He
fielder.
was
Now he's a
yes.
Gold Glove Award winner, rightfully so. He saves the team a lot of runs out there, and now
I
he
would.
offers something at the plate.
He's coming around. I would offer. I wouldn't be sad as a Cardinals fan if they traded Flaherty and Harrison Bader
I would not rule it out
for some starting pitching because you need it
because they
from
have some guys
veteran
coming up.
from some veteran starting pitching.
This is where I think Nolan Gorman's going to end up in the outfield.
And this is where I don't think
he's going
it's
to be a second baseman.
I don't think it's going to be Nolan Gorman.
Oh,
I think it's
Jordan
going to be
Walker.
Tommy Edman or
Tommy
Jordan
Edman.
Walker.
Yeah,
I
Walker
think it's
can't
going to be.
play third base.
I
Sorry,
think it's
kid.
listen with his arm. With Jordan, have you seen Jordan Walker's arm?
Oh, I know, but you got a
That is
nine-time Gold Glove winner over
I know that's fine.
there.
Hear me out. Jordan Walker in right field
Oh
can
yeah,
touch third base.
and then you
Vlad
move
Guerrero
Carlson to
style.
center,
Move Carlson to center.
and then if
You have
O'Neill proves it.
If O'Neill proves
You
it,
give him a 5 or 6 year deal. He's a relatively young
15
kid.
mil, 10,
Yeah,
12, 15 mil.
or maybe with incentives. Like
It's
if
incentives.
you hit 30 to 35,
All-star stuff like that.
MVP is a 1 million.
Done. Nolan Gorman is now your second baseman. Tommy Edman
Is your Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, here's your Swiss Army.
If it's the only
And
thing about
Tommy
Tommy
Edman-
Edman, he can get exposed if he
Yep.
plays for too much.
Yep. And you can package either
Okay, yeah.
you can package Flaherty and Bader for some starting pitching or a shortstop.
Yeah, exactly. Because you still need one of those.
You
You
still
still
need
need
a
a
shortstop.
shortstop.
You have it fixed.
Paul DeYoung can come out and have a nice year. He
You
can
want any
hit.
more of that?
No, I'm
Oh,
good for now.
yeah.
He can have 25. I mean, all you can
'Cause
hope
I gotta
for.
we got to try it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, it's 11:20. I think we got 5 to 10 minutes to wrap this up.
Yeah.
I'll say this about the hottest topic, which is shortstop. I will say that Paul DeYoung, if he can just play a really good short and partner up with Edmundo Sosa
Mm-hmm.
and hit home runs and don't strike out and don't
Yep.
hit 220, man.
That's it.
Make contact.
Don't hit your hat size.
Don't hit your head size.
Just hit 250.
If
Do
the
me a favor.
ball's there, home run.
If Paul DeYoung,
But bun it, slap it.
if Paul
know,
DeYoung can do
poke it to right.
25, 250, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy. He can stay where
20
he's at.
bombs.
20 to 25.
Don't strike out
250.
150 times.
That is a perfect 8-hole hitter
perfect.
in a DH
And if he's
league.
not playing,
in a DH
Sosa's
league.
playing.
And Sosa league.
and guess what? Sure, at the deadline, the Cardinals could flip their deadline script and go out and get a shortstop.
Yes.
So just think of
I'm
Paul
telling you.
DeYoung. Think of Paul DeYoung and think about your trade.
If you can,
I'm just
Nolan
saying.
Gorman at second base, because that kid's already raking.
I love that watch.
He's already raking.
He is raking.
You can move
a
Tommy
guy-
Evans to right field.
Nolan Gorman, who I believe is a lefty, right?
Yes, he is.
So he is exactly what the team wanted. So they
Yes,
got
he
Corey
is.
Dickerson, veteran left-handed bat.
I would say this: Corey Dickerson was a waste of $5 million.
No, I will say this. I'm betting on the years before his last two. I will give everybody a pass for COVID, and his last year wasn't great, but he was hurt.
I will give it. Okay.
But when he's on, he gives you an 800 OPS. He hits 16 home runs. He's a Gold Glover in the
I
field.
have a feeling that Dickerson, it
If
was is going
Pujols
to end up.
outslugs him, Pujols may have the role.
Bulls, I'm not mad at because that's
And
nostalgia
Dickerson,
and all that.
if it was really bad with Dickerson, let's say I'm not right, which is let's just be honest, 75% of the time, it was a Dickerson. It's not worth it. They'll null and void that 5. They'll designate him for
That's it.
assignment.
Yeah.
And Pujols would just take over the role,
That's it.
and Juan Yepez or Gorman.
Or Gorman.
Maybe Edmund takes over. Maybe
Or-
Gorman's having a struggle.
Or
Let's-
maybe Jordan
This
Walker's
is what
just
we have to
beating
understand
the
when knowing
brakes off the
Gorman.
ball.
I'll end with this. I'm not going to get into the pitching. It's too frustrating.
We can do
Okay.
that another time.
Can we do that another time? We'll do that next time. Maybe in a Lost Losers podcast
Okay.
or whenever. Maybe into a
We'll do
well.
another fucking joint hour.
We'll do another joint hour.
Uh-huh.
But I will say this about Nolan Gorman. He's still learning how to be a Major League Baseball player.
Yes.
Do not thrust
He's still
second
learning.
base upon him. If he wants to be the left-handed guy with the DH with Pujols, let him do that. Let him play second. Let him play a little bit of the outfield. If they say, hey, you're an arm kid, go out there and play left. No Neil's going to be the DH or he's going to sit. You need to ease the kid into being Harrison Bader was rushed into being that center fielder when Tommy Pham just basically got her injury and traded.
If you're going to bring Nolan Gorman up,
Yeah,
plug him at second.
plug him in.
Don't move him.
Yeah,
Plug him at
you
second.
can. Yeah,
Let him go with the ups and downs of a season.
or plug him in
And-
there and let him and hang with
and
him.
realize he is a 22, 21, 22-year-old kid still growing into a man's body.
Yeah,
So let him ride that because he's already raking now.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
he's already. I mean, he's raking well. He was hitting good last year.
And he's already in spring training now.
I think with a good spring training, he's going to be on the team. I think the team sees him as a guy who
and then,
DH
like I said,
second base.
and then you can plug, like I said, that's Harrison Bader, and then puts Flaherty. That's a very good trade package.
I think this
Go out,
deadline
pick
could
what
be
you want.
interesting because this
You
deadline is
go
going
out
to come
and do
on
something.
like gangbusters, man. We're already
gonna
almost
be
to
fun.
the seasons. It's going to be July.
It's going to be
It's
fun.
going to be the end of July.
And defense. That's what I say.
What?
That's why I say in Nolan Gorman's defense, plug him at second.
Plug
Don't
him
move
in second. Leave him
Don't
there.
fucking don't fuck with him.
You can have a guy like Pujols, and you can inject the young guys
Until-
into the lineup.
Until the kid goes 1 for 30.
Sure. And maybe you send him to Memphis.
Then sit his
Give
ass
him,
down.
or no, just give him 10 days in Memphis to kick the shit out of that pitcher.
hey man, we're gonna sit you down for a couple days. We're gonna send you down to Memphis.
But that's all
it.
I got today,
That's
man.
it, man. Okay.
That's all I got.
Goddamn, dude, thanks for coming out and doing
Hey,
this, man.
It won't be the last time, my friend.
Fuck.
It won't be the
bro.
last
Definitely,
time.
definitely. Thank you, my friend.
Last time.
Plug whatever you got.
I will
One
say
last time?
again, at Buff82 on Twitter and I'm not really on Instagram except to really promote my ramble on with Buffa newsletter, which is a Substack newsletter. It's kind of like the new thing. It allows a writer to kind of essentially be like your morning newspaper. And I
Mhm.
write every day. If I don't write every day, I still write about 6 days a week, and you maybe get 2 a day. And so for $5 a month or 46 a year, I'm bringing all kinds of content: Cardinals, movie reviews, podcasts, and video casts as well. But at Buff82 on Twitter is a good way to get an idea of the mayhem that I bring.
There you go. Find the man.
Thanks for having me.
Dude, I appreciate you coming. Go subscribe to the new Patreon channel. Hit subscribe on the Rumble, and hit like and all that on YouTube here too as well. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Love y'all.